Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. I'm your host, Stephen Topham at the third at your service. Now we're going to talk about this very seriously because prices are the key element on the railway, and it doesn't matter which railway you go on, from Greater Anglia to North Norfolk Railway. Why? I'm going to compare prices for you so you're able to get on a cheaper ride to get forward and back and return and safe and get home safe and sound without a problem, of course. We're going to look at it from an angle that no one else hasn't thought about. It's online buying tickets, which is cheaper than actually getting it from a machine, which is normally about £4.85 for Greater Anglia. That's from Knapford to Orsted, which is Cromer and Norwich. Bang, right? Everybody knows it's £4.85 each way. Ding ding, headliners on the Greater Anglia straight on. But we're going to talk about also acknowledging it to be a lot more cheaper, right? It's nearly about £8 to £9 for return. If they charge you more than what they already stated, so it's if they want a return ticket from Greater Anglia from Cromer to Norwich alone, it's nearly what you would call £4.85 times two equals the price that you should be paying for. Now, I'm going to go to the North Norfolk Railway now, or the North Western Railway Company, my railway company, which should be cheaper for you on a longer run. But why? Right? Of course, Greater Anglia is going to do you a cheaper price because they are faster, they may be more efficient, but they're not. Right? All they say, look, pay £9 for return, basically, or £10 for return ticket, right? That's a return ticket from Cromer to Norwich, but that's going through all the stations, right? Now, let's take half of those away and put 5 stations, right? We got, or 3 stations, right? We have Sheringham, we have Weybourne, and we have Holt, right? We have Wellsworth, we have Marin, right, which is in Southern language. So look it up because it actually makes sort more sense to you. But we're going to look at both of them, including Holt, obviously, the coastal one route. That explains it all, right? So the fares of the North Norfolk Railway today, or the North Western Railway Company today, which I find ridiculous, right? They say for an adult, for an off-peak and peak times, I'm going to say set it to one price or piss off for the North Norfolk Railway because they're not realising we don't need it for peak times or off-peak times. We need a set price for one. There is times when you're going to be dead or alive or kicking or whatever. It's even the Greater Anglia knows that. They're not stupid. So why do they say the prices are cheaper on Greater Anglia, which is £9, £10, something like that for return? Bang! What happens? The North Norfolk Railway are going to keep you out on your prices. They said green timetable, blue timetable, yellow timetable, red timetable, doesn't matter. Right? The problem is they broke the boundaries of your actual price limit you want to pay for. Right? You go on the North Norfolk Railway thinking it's actually going to be the same price or a similar price to the actual Greater Anglia. The answer is no. They're too expensive. So what do? I dig in. I dig the punchlines, right? So regardless that you paid for your parking, let's say you had a car and you come all the way from Norwich or Orsted, all the way to Wellsworth, and you parked at the car parking. You paid for your car parking space for about an hour, 2 hours, something like that, and then you ended up going on the railroad, right? This is where the big money hits. Think about the money. Think about what you got in your pocket, not the other way round. This is why people say, right, I'm going to make this a quote because it's the actual quote, right? Lewis Lane from Superman or Smallville, right, said to Clark, "You're not saving money for a motorbike. You're basically saving money for her." Ding ding, right? That's just an example, but it's a prime example of acknowledging that I'm wanting you to go back on that railway, but I don't want you to pay £19.50 or 21 quid just for off peak and peak time type, right? Bullshit that, because that's bullshit. They're trying to split the price because they want more money out of you. I said, fuck it, excuse my language, but the facts are there. It's all written in black and white. I said, for a child, 14 to £15, right? Under five used to get it for free. Why? Because when you're a baby and when you're a child, right, that's where I know that the North Norfolk Railway are breaking the barrier, which they shouldn't be. They fucked up where the prices are all there, black and white for me to see, and I say, this is what they're showing you, this is what they're telling you, this is what it has to be acknowledged, and I have to accept it as three stations, not one, not two. It's three. Why? What do you do with three stations, right? You're not going as far as Norwich, for example, because you're knocking down 15 miles, as example, right? Then you have to divide the price of everything because you have to be realistic on the prices. People are not going to pay for that because they will say, no, you're too expensive. Right? I get that. I want to work with the customers. I want to work with the community to acknowledge that I'm working around this to say that management are going to go out in the bin bag. Because once they get out and I'm in, I'm safe. But the only way I could let it do it is let them take the North Norfolk Railway down to the ground. Why? Because they lost. They lost because they lost respect, they lost material, they lost this, they lost that. They got everything. Let's say advertisement is another one. What a load of bullshit. Right? We know it's a train. We know it's a North Norfolk Railway. We know it's a North Western Railway in reverse. So acknowledge that there's a lot more to the North Norfolk Railway than what you're getting. So when you look at prices today or you look at everything today, right? When I look at a family of four or a family of five, I think, what a fucking load of rip-off. I can understand why people are getting pissed off, right? Prices are delicate this time of year. Not for me, it's for the customers. It's for the community. What the North Norfolk Railway wants, they cannot have because it's not a needy, it's a wanty for them. For the customers and the community, they want to go on there. They won't. They will travel by car because it's cheaper. Why? They rather keep their money in their pocket and go somewhere else. Right? Acknowledge that the North Norfolk Railway are doing wrong. Acknowledge that they crossed the boundary. They crossed the boundary for a lot of damn reasons. And when I look at off peak and peak times and all that, right? A lot of people say it's 24 hours in the clock, right? And we have to acknowledge when it's going to get busy and when it isn't, right? You have to accept your money's lost. Your money is not well earned. It's not well respected. It's not well really acknowledged to a point where money is important to everybody. Greater Anglia has just basically got it on a nail. Why? Because they know where the boundary is, right? With the North Norfolk Railway, are they doing the same? The answer is no, because they want something bad enough and they cannot get it. Why? Because respect. Community will not respect those type of prices to be acknowledged. I would accept acknowledging that the adult prices should go down lower. Take the peak times off. Off peak is what you're getting at the moment. You want a set price to acknowledge that we're going to pay this every day, every month, every year. You've got special events that can probably double up a little bit, but not much. But you're asking, why £21 for peak times? That's telling me that's a fuck up there waiting to happen, right? That's for adults. I said, if I was on there, I said you could have it for 15 quid. Why? Because it's 3 stations. Work it out, yeah, right. Work out from Sheringham all the way to Norwich as the route, right? But you're only having 3 stations instead of all of those, all in one bucket, right? A lot of people say Wellsworth is where you're standing. Wake up and smell of coffee and wake up and realise the prices are very dear on the North Norfolk Railway. It doesn't matter if it's from Holt or from Sheringham. It's the same bloody route each way. And then when you acknowledge that 67 quid 50 for a family of 5, do you know what? Reduce it. Acknowledge that you're in the wrong. Acknowledge that you're not pushing. The problem is, what you acknowledging is that you probably lost a lot of money, but you haven't. All right, let me explain why you that the North Norfolk Railway are wrong. Yes, but they have to acknowledge what they're seeing on those prices. They know it's ridiculous prices. They're just acting deaf, dumb, and stupid. Right? Right? I don't often say this, but I really want you to realise why are the prices so badly expensive on one railway company and the North Norfolk Railway is higher up. Ask yourself, right? It's not about coal, water, steam, diesel, whatever. The problem is they're getting cocky on the prices. If you want good prices this time of year, right? It's summertime, it's springtime, it's autumn time, it's winter time, it doesn't matter. The thing is, the boundaries are already set. I'm knocking out all the bad stuff, right? I want the customers to enjoy themselves, not pay big prices and then they get on there and they end up coming out miserable because that's not the point. The point is to acknowledge that customers are getting you out of there because they don't want bad review. They're giving you bad reviews for a reason, and they're acknowledging that. And when you push and push and push, all these reviews, all of this hasslement, all of this criteria, you're not acknowledging what is going on out there throughout the grid. The prices are extremely, extremely, very, very poor on a North Norfolk Railway. And paying 3 quid for a dog is it's the lowest you could go. I could say, get out of that North Norfolk Railway and tell the management to piss off because they won't listen to me and they won't listen to anyone else because they know they're getting a bad reputation because at the end of the day, it's all on them, right? At the moment, right? So the North Norfolk Railway's prices, right? You need to start realising, is it really worth paying the big price? £19, £20, £21, depending what. Doesn't matter if it's off peak or peak times. The problem is you've got 24 hours in a day, every day, right? Right? The North Norfolk Railway had the best reputation. The North Western Railway Company had the best reputation during the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. They knew what they were doing and they knew exactly how much that should cost, how much the customers feel to pay the right price. They don't want to pay ridiculous prices, right? I applaud all the customers, all the community to realise you are right, the management are wrong because they always are in the wrong. They're not acknowledging your reviews. They're not acknowledging. what your needs are. They're not acknowledging what your actual needs are. At the end of the day, they care about money, and money is what they're after. And I'm not putting myself down and saying I'm not going to be on their level to get their steam up. No, I'm already steamed up. I'm telling them to drop the act and get out the building. Right? The community will have to start realizing when going on that railway, they're seeing it as one big money making. Right? I'm not accepting that, nor is the previous generation, nor is the third generation. The management have to back off. And when I say back off, I mean it. You know, you've got to start looking. Why are they charging this much? Why is this? I'm getting it all through people's heads. And it's acknowledging it, go forward, don't look back, and don't go there. At the moment, the Norfolk Railway is off limits. In the day, the NWR is what it's normally called, the North Western Railway Company. They know what the customers need are. They know what they need, what the customers want to do and acknowledge, right? But are you, as a customer, as in a communityist, to acknowledge what they are doing? I would never charge a dog or a bicycle £3 each. Why? Because a bicycle is nothing. It's a it's a transport among transport. You're helping the transport out. You're acknowledging you're helping a dog get to where he needs to go. And he doesn't speak. He only pees and shits, excuse my language. But it makes acknowledgement he's still a living being. And regardless, he or she, if it's a bitch or not a bitch, it's acknowledging it to make sure that the adults, the children, the family of four, a family of five, want cheaper prices because they're not going to be willing to pay the full amount of family of four of 57 to 64 quid. No, that's wrong. So even a family of five at £67 to £74. No, this is all the prices you want to acknowledge. And I'm acknowledging to the community, don't go on the Norfolk Railway / the North Western Railway Company because they're using what you would call they're probably using the money that they got to help what that's needed, right? But you as a customer, when you go on that platform on an everyday basis and acknowledge the price is so damn bloody high that you're not getting what the treatment or the respect you need. Right? A lot of people do bullshit and say, oh, this is a lovely railway, this is all lovely, 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 lovely. But it isn't. Under the radar, they're not telling you the full story. So when you acknowledge prices are important, yes, we're acknowledging the community side of it because we have to acknowledge it, and we have to acknowledge that the railway are doing the best as they can to the best education they were given. Because the problem is, it's the way they were brought up, the way they've been taught, and that's even if their ancestors were alive today, they will shut them right down. Why? Because that will told them to. They will tell them to back off. Why? Because that's acknowledgement of previous generations that done it before us. So we are acknowledging it, we are putting it right, we're fixing it, and we're gonna make sure you get cheaper prices in the end, right? But it's not gonna. It's going to happen, and it's going to be acknowledged, and I'm gonna take on board what people's needs are and wants are. Because in the day, you've got to look at logically that when you're paying £19.50 or £21 just for one adult, right? Children, right? This is where they're getting cocky from the age of 3. What a load of bullshit. It used to be under fives, no less. I won't pay £14 for my children or £15 for my children. They can BS, right? The child, right, age 3 and 5 and below is the top priority. Even 15s are below, right? But the fact is, you don't want to pay 14 or £15 for your child. That is the worst thing you could do. A family of four, I would say half of that price, 57 divided by 3 or 2. And then equalise it, and you will understand why. Then you work out £64 divided by 2. Why? Because you're dividing it, right? So that's how much you should be paying, nearly about £30 for about a family of four, but a family of five, 74 divided by 2. Right? Family of five for £67 divided by 2. Usually you can't get much, but that will tell you exactly how much you'll be paying. But dogs should not be paying anything, or a bicycle, because one is a living, yes, but don't speak. All dogs do is stand there and wait to get off at their next stop. So you can't charge a dog £3 because that's ridiculous as it gets, right? A bicycle is not a living thing, right? It's an object, right? You can't charge a non-living object onto another non-living object. It doesn't make sense. £3? No. So work it out in your head and work out why is the main line to Norwich from Cromer cheaper than all the rest of the other shit. To the North Norfolk Railway. Why? I'm catching them out. And every time I catch them out, they ending up losing because the customers will end up realising what is going on up there. The other way you can find out, right, is do your calculations that I just given you. Because it all adds up. It all equalized up. Then you're talking about food and water for yourselves, right? A family, right? Let's take a family because I want you to understand it, right? They're probably asking you another 50, 60 quid alone. So you're nearly paying £200, which is not even that, right? I'll be honest with you, right? A steam train from King's Cross all the way to Sheringham or all the way to Holt, right? Like Oliver Cromwell did and everything else. That's a £200 fare, right? What the North Norfolk Railway doing is only doing 3 stations in the whole United Kingdom, right? 3 stations. That's all it takes. 3 stations, right? 3 main stations, 1 halt, right? The halt is the Killing Heath department, but the thing is, when you look at that, and look at this, and look at that, and look at left, right, and centre, are you benefiting from the North Norfolk Railway's prices, or the North Western Railways Company's prices? I will say no. You'd probably say, that's reasonable. No. The answer will be no for a lot of people, because the majority at the polls, if I did a poll on this, do you think the prices are fair on the North Norfolk Railway / the North Western Railway Company? The answer will be mostly 99.9 no. Why? Because the 1% that says yes is the obviously key to say the prices are not right. The problem is the online, when they ask you to book online, as another example, you probably get a discount or something like that. But that's a load of BS, right? When you do it directly on the door, you know you get your ticket, you pay your ticket, right? And you got it, right? In your pocket, and you know you've got a return as well on top. Right? They don't acknowledge they don't acknowledge the bigger boundary. They they screwed up. My steam team are watching from the inside of the building. So when they are watching from the inside of the building, the community is standing up and realizing that and saying, no, we won't pay this price because we're acknowledging what the fact controller says because we know he's telling the truth, which is the honest truth. And they don't like to see their prices all covered up and smeared up, whatever, ever. But reality, they're cocky people up there, right? Cocky management, cocky employees. Don't they ever realize money doesn't grow on trees in an instant, right? A lot of people forget that money doesn't grow on trees. I understand that. But the thing is, what you're doing is wrong. The prices are not reasonable enough to coordinate. You will make more money on special events, yes, because there'll be more people that'll be willing to do it, right? But when it's on the standard day of the North Norfolk Railway or the North Western Railway Company, you have to realise, ding, 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 three strikes and the whole thing come together, right? You need to start prioritising. And if you don't prioritise your prices correctly, the prices you have to get the customers' vote to realise, is it really worth it just for one day or 1 week or 1 year, one damn thing, right? I I know this railway too damn bloody well to know what is reasonable on a reasonable line of 3 stations, right? When you talk about sharing them all the way to Norwich on the Greater Anglia, usually it will cost you about £10, £12 anyway, right? The, the Heritage Railway we once knew, the North Norfolk Railway as we knew it, is gone, right? We have to acknowledge that it's gone, right? Because the prices are too high and they're making it a complete rip-off and you're ending up with nothing at the end. But you might get a good day, you might get a crap day, and you say, that's a rip-off, that's a rip-off, that's a rip-off, that's a rip-off. Right, the clues, the answers are all coming to me. Ding, 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 ding. And then what happens? More people are standing up now and realizing what has unfolded. You have to realize and acknowledge that your money could be well spent somewhere else, and acknowledge that what you see is what you get, right? But you want to have a good time up there. But at the North Norfolk Railway, always check your prices first before going on there, because now I'm giving you the prices. Now they should be more wary to watch out, because I'll be watching. Eyes and ears everywhere, on even on the premises. Steam team at ready in any angle. Watch that out.